What's going on, guys? This is Snake Sports here, and today I am showing you the 2017 NCAA Tournament Challenge bracket, and this is the official bracket that I will be posting. And let's go ahead and go through the official bracket that just went out on ESPN and all the other media outlets there are. So what we want to do is we want to go to the east side of the bracket, and we'll go all the way to the Sweet 16, and then we'll go to the different sides as well, and then we go down also. All right, so we have Villanova and Mississippi State, I believe. I don't know who those two teams are, MS or NO. I do not know who they are. So I'm going to go with Villanova on this one because Villanova is a pretty good basketball team. All right, so we have Wisconsin and Virginia Tech. I'm going to go rapid fast as well. All right, so we have Wisconsin and Virginia Tech. I feel like Nigel Hayes with the Wisconsin Badgers will overcome the Virginia Tech Hokies. They'll beat them in a high-scoring game. I feel like Wisconsin is the winner for here. All right, so the upset for today, for this week or next week or whenever the tournament starts, I feel like UNC Wilmington will upset Virginia, and this will be one of the two upsets in this bracket, and I will hopefully be right. For Florida and ETSU, I believe I will pick Florida on this one. Florida has a better program than ETSU. I do not know anything about my voice cracked. But I feel like Florida will beat and overcome ETSU and beat them pretty decently. So we have SMU, and I do not know who PR or SC is. Oops, nope, wrong one. I do believe SMU will overcome this team and beat them because SMU is a pretty well-known and decent basketball team. Baylor and New Mexico State. I have Baylor in this team, or in the second round, round 32. I believe they will. South Carolina and Marquette. This will be a pretty tough decision, but my thoughts, I believe that South Carolina will overcome Marquette in double overtime. So the second upset in the tournament bracket, I have Duke losing to Troy. I already said this in my previous video. I'll put the link in the description below. That Troy will beat Duke, and it's going to be a high-scoring game. They're going to beat Duke 78-75 because Troy is a 15 seed, and I already called it. And yeah, it seems biased because I'm a UNC fan, but I believe that Duke. I said this all year long. I believe that Duke will be upset by Troy. So I'm gonna go with Troy on the second upset in the round 64. So round 32. This is gonna be a tough decision, but I thought about putting Wisconsin in the Sweet 16. This is gonna be a really tough. I don't know. It's gonna be a tough decision. Gonna go with Villanova in my heart. I'm gonna go with Villanova, even though I hate Villanova because they beat us in the last second shot last year. Obviously, I'm gonna have Florida versus UNC Wilmington. I'm going to definitely put Florida in that one because UNC Wilmington is a one team wonder of beating a top ranked team. All right, so we have SMU and Baylor. I believe that Baylor will overcome. No, I really like SMU. I've watched them play for a little bit. I feel like Baylor is a little bit inconsistent. So I'm gonna go with SMU on this one. I'm gonna switch things up on this one. For South Carolina and Troy, I feel like Troy is one of those other teams that are one team wonders that they just upset a team. So I'm gonna go with South Carolina on this one. So there you have it for the Sweet 16. I believe Sweet 16. So let's go down to the west side of the bracket. I believe there are going to be two teams that are going to be upset for this year's bracket. All right, so we got Gonzaga and South Dakota State. Gonzaga really hasn't played anybody well, I believe, but they will make it to the second round of the round 32. But it'll be a close one. I don't know how South Dakota State is. Northwestern and Vanderbilt. I believe that Northwestern will overcome Vanderbilt and they'll beat them and make it to the second round of the NCAA tournament. We have Notre Dame and Princeton. I believe Notre Dame will beat Princeton because Notre Dame is a well-rounded team. They're decent. They are consistent, and they're mainly a three-type team. All right, we have West Virginia and Bucknell. I believe that Bucknell will upset West Virginia. Bucknell is one of those teams that are a one-hit wonder team. So I'm going to pick Bucknell. Maryland versus Xavier. That's going to be a tough one as also. I feel like I'm going to pick Maryland on this one. Melo Trimble will have a great game and they'll beat Xavier. Xavier is a decent team, but they haven't really shown much of a good decent team. I love how they put St. Mary's in with Arizona and Gonzaga. Like St. Mary's really with the same conference that play with Gonzaga. This it's messed up. All right, so the second upset in the one team wonder team, Dunk City is back in action and they will beat FSU. They'll beat them by 4 points and they'll upset the Seminoles. I have them going to move on to the second round. They are maybe possibly back. If you guys remember, they were the Dunk City team. They beat Georgetown. They beat some other teams as well. But they lost to Miami in the tournament that year. I forget, when was that? I don't know. But St. Mary's and VCU, I really do not know. But I feel like VCU will beat St. Mary's because St. Mary's really isn't that good. And they play in a terrible conference. Virginia Commonwealth is a pretty good team. I've seen them play, and they look very consistent when they play. Arizona and North Dakota. I feel like Arizona will win. Sorry, North Dakota. I wish you were playing against Duke. But they may upset Arizona, but I feel like Arizona will overcome North Dakota because Arizona has a great lineup, and they have a great center also. So we have Virginia and VCU. I'm definitely going to pick Arizona, and sorry for the background noise also. I'm going to pick Arizona on this one. And also, I feel like Florida Gulf Coast will beat Maryland in an upset in overtime. Florida Gulf Coast may be that one team in the NCAA tournament that will upset the teams and just beat them. Northwestern versus Gonzaga. I feel like Northwestern plays at a better conference than Gonzaga. Yes, Gonzaga has a well-rounded team. They beat some teams in the regular or off-season or non-conference play, but that was just early in the year. So all that matters is conference, not non-conference games. So I have Northwestern's moving into the Sweet 16. So we have Notre Dame and Bucknell. I believe that Notre Dame will beat Bucknell. Bucknell is one of those one hit wonder teams. I keep saying one hit wonder. So it would be Northwestern and Notre Dame in that bracket. So we have Florida Gulf Coast, and we have. Oh wait, did I already fill it? All right, cool. I already filled up that. All right, so no, I want to stay. Oops. All right, so we have Kentucky and Northern Kentucky. There's gonna be two teams, that are gonna upset teams, but I gotta go with UNC. I feel like UNC has gonna have motivation because they lost to Duke. And I'm not gonna be biased, but I feel like UNC has a better, well-rounded team, but they're gonna play slow, and then they'll cut on, and they'll beat Texas Southern. I haven't really seen Texas Southern play at all. Arkansas and Seton Hall. I'm going to go with my guts. I'm going to go with Arkansas because Arkansas plays in the SEC. Seton Hall, I really didn't really watch them play, but they play in the Big East, and I don't seem that they can handle Arkansas's 30 minutes of hell defense style play. I hate their defense. It's going to be another rematch right there. Minnesota and Mid Tennessee. Mid Tennessee upset a lot of people this year, but I feel like Minnesota is going to beat Middle Tennessee State. So there we have it with that. Butler and Winthrop. I believe Butler will lose to Winthrop and be another one of the one-hit wonder upset teams. I have Winthrop upsetting Butler in the first round of the NCAA tournament. We have Cincinnati and Wake Forest or Kansas? Is that Kansas? Hold on. Wait a minute. Wake Forest or Kansas? I do not know who that is. Wait, is there Kansas? Okay. I believe that's Wake Forest. Wake Forest and Cincinnati. I'm going to go with Wake Forest. No, I'm going to go with Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a pretty well team. Wake Forest usually chokes it in the last 5 minutes of the game because there's always that saying, Wake is fake. So they always choke in the last game. Um, UCLA and Kent State. I'm gonna have to go with UCLA because UCLA is a pretty dominant team. They got Lonzo Ball and they have Alfred as well in the 3-point perimeter game, and also the yeah, this region is tough. I'm not gonna lie, this region is really tough. If you think about it. Dayton versus Wichita State. Dayton, I believe, will overcome Wichita State. They're not as good as they were back in the day when they had Ron Baker and all of them. So, but I'm gonna pick Dayton in this one. I already know I watched Dayton play, and they're pretty decent, and they are well-rounded team in the major Atlantic American Conference. I think that's what they are. Kentucky versus Northern Kentucky. I believe that Kentucky or North. I believe that Northern Kentucky will upset Kentucky because Kentucky has played a little bit inconsistent, but it may change because of I forget. Crap, what was his name? I just had him brain fart. Or Jamie Foxx, or Malik. Yeah, there we go. Malik Monk may have a great game. May have come back with a clutch game because he's always usually a clutch player. You know he's going to the draft. All right, so we have Dayton versus Northern Kentucky. I believe that Dayton will overcome Northern Kentucky and they'll win in the game. All right, so we have UCLA versus Cincinnati. This is gonna be a really tough, grinded game. So I don't know about this one. This one's gonna be tough. I feel like UCLA will beat Cincinnati. That's gonna be a tough game. All right, we have UNC versus Arkansas. I feel like UNC will beat Arkansas again, and they played in the ACC tournament. Not ACC tournament, but they played each other before in previous tournaments as well. I feel like UNC will overcome Arkansas in the hot or irritating defense. I hate their defense. They're always brutal. But I feel like UNC is a better rounded team if Roy Williams coaches smart. But hey, it's just whatever. I feel like UNC will win. Minnesota and Winthrop. I believe Minnesota will beat they'll beat Winthrop and they'll overcome Winthrop in the overtime. All right, so that is all for right now. I believe. Okay, now we have that was Sweet 16. All right, so now we are going to the Midwest. This is a lot of teams. All right, so we have Kansas and CU or UC Davis. We have Kansas going, obviously, going first round. Michigan State and Miami. I feel like Miami will overcome Michigan State. I've seen Miami will play, and they're better. I feel like they're better than Michigan State. Iowa State and Nevada. I feel like Nevada will be the team to upset Iowa State because Iowa State usually is inconsistent in NCAA tournament play. That is my opinion. Well, no. I'm going to go my heart. I'm going to go with Iowa State. I don't know why I said Nevada, but in this one right here, I'm definitely going to put Vermont because Vermont is going to be the upset for Purdue. That's going to be the second upset this year. Creighton and UIR, or I believe Rhode Island. I feel like Rhode Island will upset Creighton because every time I watch Creighton, they're always inconsistent when they play. That's my second team. That's a one-hit wonder beating team. Rhode Island's a pretty decent, well team. So we got Vermont versus Iowa State in the round of 32. We have Oregon and Iona. I believe that Dylan Brooks will have a great game. They'll beat Iona, and they'll play Oregon. All right. So we have Michigan and Oklahoma State. I feel like Oklahoma State will beat Michigan. I've seen Oklahoma State play a lot, and they're very consistent in their up-tempo team, but I feel like Michigan will be inconsistent in this game. Louisville and Jacksonville State. I feel like Louisville will win this game because Louisville is just a better, well-rounded team. So yeah. So let's go back to the top. This gonna be tough. I feel like Kansas will overcome Miami in overtime. Miami is always sometimes inconsistent, but you never know. It's tournament time and tournament play, so it's March Madness. We have Iowa State versus Vermont. Will Vermont overcome Iowa State? I feel like Vermont will upset Iowa State and be that one-hit wonder team that will just go almost all the way and then will lose to a really good team. Rhode Island versus Oregon. I believe that Oregon will win against Rhode Island. Dylan Brooks will have another amazing game, and that they'll play. Oklahoma State and Louisville. I feel like Louisville will win this game because they are a pretty decent team. Sometimes they can be inconsistent, but I feel like they can win. All right, so we have our Sweet 16 teams, I believe. All right, so we have Dayton, UCLA. We have Florida Gulf Coast, and Arizona. This one right here, I'm definitely going to put Arizona. Florida Gulf Coast will make that run, and then they'll lose to a pretty good team. Notre Dame will beat Northwestern. Northwestern will have that run also as well. So I feel like Notre Dame will be in the Elite Eight. We have SMU and South Carolina in this one. I believe that SMU will overcome South Carolina. SMU has a well-rounded team also. I feel like South Carolina will choke in the last 5 minutes. I know I have some friends that are South Carolina fans, but I feel like that's my opinion. The SMU will be in the final Elite Eight. Florida and Villanova. I have Florida and Villanova. I have Florida upsetting Villanova in overtime in the last 5 or 20 seconds of the game. Florida will have a clutch 3, and they'll beat Villanova. So take that, Villanova. So they'll be in the Elite Eight. All right, so I believe we got Notre Dame, Arizona. We have SMU and Florida in the Elite Eight. And why is that there? Dang it. All right, so for the Midwest, we have Kansas and Vermont. I believe that Kansas will overcome Vermont, and they will beat Vermont pretty badly because Vermont is tired out, and they'll lose to Kansas. All right. Kansas or Oregon versus Louisville. I feel like Oregon will lose to Louisville because Oregon's player is hurt. But I feel like it will be Kansas versus Louisville in the Elite Eight matchup. All right, so we have UNC and Minnesota. Obviously, I'm going to put UNC winning. I feel like they're a better, more rounded team. They're a better overall team, complete team as well. And Minnesota is decent, but I feel like UNC will overcome. Justin Jackson will have a great game. Joel Berry will overcome his terrible performances for the past few games, but I feel like he'll do well. So it'll be UNC versus whoever. All right, we have Dayton versus UCLA. I feel like that UCLA will win this game, and it's going to be a tough game. So it's going to be UNC versus UCLA. This is going to be a really tough game and a really tough decision to watch because UCLA and UNC are both great teams. All right, so Florida and SMU. I feel like Florida will overcome SMU and beat them in double overtime, and they will make it to the final. Wait. Where do they go? Huh? Where did they go? Huh? Oh, okay, my bad. Alright, sorry guys. Whoops. I was trying to figure out where they were. Alright, so right there we have Florida in the final four of the the East bracket. So for the for the West bracket, we have Arizona and Notre Dame. I feel like Arizona will overcome Notre Dame and they'll beat Notre Dame so they'll be in the final four. So Florida and Arizona in the final four. Yeah. All right. So we have Kansas and we have Louisville. This is a crazy bracket. I already can tell. So this is my official bracket. We have Kansas and we have Louisville. I feel like Kansas will get upset by Louisville. I feel like Louisville will upset them in overtime. It's going to be another overtime game, and they're going to upset Kansas, and they're going to make it to the Final Four. Oh, this one's going to be tough. I feel like UNC will win, but UCLA will somehow come back in the last 5 minutes of the game, and they will somehow just shoot lights out from three. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go with UNC, and Lonzo Ball will be ice cold. I feel like UNC versus Louisville. Now, that will be a crazy matchup, right? two ACC teams matching up to each other. We have Florida and Arizona. We have Louisville and UNC. UNC will come back and take revenge, and they'll be in the national championship. They'll beat Louisville, and they'll overcome. My bad. And they will probably play against Florida and Arizona. You know what? I'm gonna go with Arizona in this one. It's gonna be Arizona versus UNC in the national championship. UNC, people are already commenting that UNC is overrated. They're not going to win. They're not going to do this. But UNC will come back and win this national championship. I have UNC winning. I have UNC winning 85 to 79. Oops. Dang it. I have UNC overcoming Arizona and winning 85 to 79. UNC will come back and they'll take revenge of losing to Villanova. Like I said earlier, Duke will lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Mark my word. So let's go. Yes, enter chance. By clicking here, I'll agree. Yes. Ooh, accurate. Okay. All right, so submit my picks, and I've done that. Oh, great. All right, well, I'll figure all this out, and I'll do it and finish it. But, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. That was my tournament. I have UNC winning the whole thing. They come back and take revenge of losing. In the semifinals, also, they will win from revenge because Villanova upset them in the national championship. Go Heels, and guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Comment below what you guys think. And if you don't like it, well, hey, it's just my opinion. It's just a bracket. It's not like all of it's going to be true. If it is true, I am going to be a millionaire. Alright, guys. This is Snake Sports here. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.